Hello and welcome everyone to the Kerbal space program. We will pick up when we did left last time, so after our first flight, first data gathering, and well, being able to unlock the first year of science. We did take off with the 18 science in here, so the basic rocketry we unlocked, but I am thinking, well, we do still have 18 science, and this 18 science is very tempting because, well, on our next flight, because remember, in this flight we would like to achieve the orbit, and in order to do that, well, we do have enough parts to achieve the orbit with only the first year. But as a good scientist, as a good well, leader of the program, of the Kerbal space program, I would like to test out our landing capabilities. So in order to do that, because our next mission, our next manned mission, I do think we will send the Kerbal to the Minimus. And well, I do know that the landing gear isn't totally required on the Minimus, and it's not necessarily a necessary thing to have on Minimus. Well, let's stick to what do we have here. So we will try to make the lander as universal as we can. So maybe after the Minimus mission, we will send exactly the same lander to the moon to take some soil samples and to test the environment. So I am thinking that, well, the landing legs would be nice, the engine that actually performs very well in the vacuum would be very nice, and also the additional parachutes, because, well, all of this science have to be mounted to something, and something always means weight. So weight, well, you could use some parachutes. So that's why I do unlock the survivability tree. We are left with the free science. Well, let's see on the mission what we will achieve with only the free science on the takeoff. So, what else we have here? Well, it's always a good thing to look through the tiers, look what parts you will unlock eventually, and I do think that the next thing I will unlock will be completing the tier the tier 2 science tree. So it will be some more stability added to my crafts and some general rocketry. Let's close this one and let's think about the design of our spacecraft. So we'll start off with the capsule, well, as always, and in order for the capsule to return from the space, we will need the parachute, the first parachute. And well, we did unlock the stack decoupler, so let's put one onto it. And now about the science. Well, let's take the antenna with us. Let's make it straight up, going straight up. Goes, well, we can. Well, that's more or less straight up. Let's take our mystery goo containment unit, which we unlock, and put them on. I would like 3 of them, I think would be enough. So let's take 3 of those, and we do have our decoupler. So now let's think about the lander Mark 1, I would say. So some fuel to power up our engine. From that point we could use some landing legs. Let's make a bit more. Let's make 6 legs. It looks cool. It just looks cool. And now for the radial mounted parachutes, well, we could use only 4 of those. So let's put 4 of those. And we will think if we should decouple our capsule on the landing. So we have our engine firing up, we have our parachutes, and if everything else goes wrong, we could just throw it out, throw the lower part, and just land with the capsule, if the weight will be too much for us to handle. And now for the or the proper stage of, well, let's think about the rocket that will put us in space. So we will need some fuel. I am thinking like, well, free fuel. Well, that should be more than enough. Engine to it. Some control, another decoupler, and let's put some more fuel. Hey, how's this one looking? Oh well, it's a bit high. It's a bit high rocket. Okay, let's and 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 I think will be enough to the purposes we will be using it. Okay, let's put three additional engines that will start our getting us up. And the thing is, we could and we should use another capsule, because we don't have anything else to we don't have anything else that can do have the SAS, and we don't have that much of the torque, and those rockets tend to fall down. Well, I don't think that in this stage we do need that many fuel tanks. So what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe I will add this engine a bit later. We'll start off with the 3 engines, which will just take us into the some higher atmosphere. Well, let's see if this design will work, because part of playing the Kerbal space program is discovering if some designs will work or will not work. So we should name our vessel as the Orbiter Mark. Well, let's say Mark 1. Let's save it, and let's see if this one will launch. And I will probably stop the video right here, and I don't know if I can fast forward it, but I will stop the video and I will see if this design will go to the orbit, and if it do, well, we will get back to it. Okay, so maybe the design is not perfect, but it will get the job done. So let's activate the SAS, and I do want to keep an eye on this fuel tank, because I would like to launch the second engine, the 4th engine, which is right here, at the point when this fuel tank will be depleted, because those 3 rockets do have 1 additional fuel tank. So whenever the first one will go off, I will deploy my 4th engine, and that will be a pretty fast. So let's keep an eye on the fuel levels in this fuel tank. It's going very fast, as it should be going very fast before we launch our 4th engine. And in a couple more seconds, and launch. So now the fuel levels should level themselves out. We are getting a very good, we're getting some amazing speed right off the start. Let me see if I can get some crew report right here. 3.5. We can transmit this data, because before you get to the battery level and solar panel level, you have to remember about, the only thing that can give you power is the engines, and with the engines it's they have to be working in order to produce electricity. So right now, getting to orbit, come on. I know you can do it. I just simply know. 160 meters per second. Well, we are going just a tiny bit too fast, but that what sometimes happens in the Kerbal space program. You might be going a bit too fast. Okay, we are at 9.5, so I will gently start the gravity turn right now to get ourselves some more speed. So let's look on how our trajectory will be looking. Okay, we have some fuel left, so we are at 25,000, 27, so we can start moving toward the 45-degree angle. Okay, 37. Okay, still have some fuel. I don't know why the SAS is doing it to me. Okay, 60. I'm aiming something to like 80, maybe. 78. 79, 80. Well, close to 80. Now we can add the maneuver here to make our orbit a bit stable. And that might be a bit too high, so let's lower it just a tiny bit, 140. Well, actually, that won't be a very bad idea, 258. That should put us on the high carbon orbit, so we will get some more data out of it. And we almost ran out of the fuel here. So 1 minute till the node. I can start accelerating because, well, only one engine left. No engine left. And we are starting. So let's start off the burn here. And the music kicks in. That's main. We are in space, ladies and gentlemen. We are in space. Now let's work on to, well, getting into the space wasn't the hard part. The hard part is, well, getting the orbit, the proper orbit we should get in here. Okay, 1000 meters per second. I need more. Come on, my little engine here. Let's do the crew report right here. Space near Kerbal, so let's transmit this data because, well, we are still using our engine. That means we are generating the power. And the power is good. And let us stick a bit more to the node. Okay, our periapsis is rising. 60, 70, 77, 80. And our apoapsis is, ooh, it's way high. Well, that will definitely put us onto the high carbon orbit. So, it's time for some science. Let's observe the goo on the low carbon, near space, near carbon. That's scientific value of 10. So, well, let's keep that report. Let's take our EVA Jeb. What can you tell us here? EVA report from the space just above Kerbal water. You recorded your observation of the situation. Well, that's pretty standard. So let's board the ship. Let's take some time acceleration to the point where we get over, well, somewhere here. Okay, let's slow down. Jeb, what are you seeing right now about the grasslands? That's scientific value of 8 also. And that's the thing you should be aiming in the first space flight, first orbit, to gather as much data as you can over the biodomes there are on the Kerbal. I do wonder if this will be, well, that's the highlands also. No, we didn't store the highlands data. So, well, let's time accelerate until we get into, well, high orbit, so we can test out our goo again. And our orbit is a bit screwed right here. And we are at our highest point, so let's observe the goo. What the goo have to say? I do have to say that they do have a 10 scientific data. High over carbon. Well, let's keep this data also. And the jab. Where are we right now? In space, high over carbon. Well, data is data. I won't be complaining about it. So let's just time accelerate here till we get a bit lower. So I am aiming at the mountains. I would like to have some data with the mountains in it. Not only with the high grasslands and highlands, but also the mountains. And we do have our mountain data, so that's a very good thing. Now, next thing in the list is, well, the desert. Let's see if we can get a good look at the desert from space. Because everything, every little thing will yield some data. Scientific value of 8 over just above the carbon desert. So let's keep this data. So right now we have 6 reports. Do we have a crew report? High over carbon. Well, that's another report that we have. So we gathered some reports. So I do think that, well, we are in the orbit. We used 2 goo canisters right now, so we have the third one, and I would like to take the third one to the desert actually, and perform the experiment on the desert. So let me just see if I can, well, reduce my speed a bit. That won't be a very high burn. It's only 308 meters per second that I will need to put me somewhere over the carbon desert. So let's aim ourselves at the node, and I should start using the trick with the time acceleration, and I will probably do it. Because if you are, well, moving a bit too fast and you do want to point at the node, you can just time accelerate and it will lock on the node. So now let's just wait till we are in the position to burn. That will be 30 minutes. So let's time accelerate. Although you have, I know I have to be very, very careful about the time acceleration, because it do tends to, well, get me in trouble because I'm missing my nodes. And okay, 1 minute till burn. Okay, let's look on our graceful ship here. 20 seconds. And we are burning with our little engine, but well, it do have a very, very good performance in the vacuum. Oops, too much. Let me just accelerate. Because, well, the other thing I do keep forgetting is the actual fact that, well, the carbon is spinning as every other planet. So let's add a bit more. Oh yeah, that should be enough. So now we can again time accelerate till we will have some, well, till we move to some re-entry. And let me put myself toward the retrograde vector here. Come on, move it. Because, well, I don't want my experiments to, well, being destroyed. Although I don't think I will be landing on the desert as I planned. Because, well, my trajectory is changing as you see. So, well, it will be probably an experiment in the highlands. And, well, that will be good also. It never goes as planned with me and the Kerbals. And we have re-entered the atmosphere, finishing off the, well, re-entry effect. And I do kind of like it, although it doesn't do that much right now. Goes well. Except for damaging the solar panels, it's pretty nice graphics. I do hope they will implement something like that in the, well, let's say near future. So let's deploy our chutes. Everything is working as it should. Well, let's see. Okay, level up, level up. Okay, let's turn on the SAS. It's doing way better job than me. Okay, let's deploy our landing legs. Okay, where do we have? Well, we don't have. Well, we are landing on the dark side of the Kerbal. So let's just time accelerate a bit. Although the thing is, the altimeter you see here, it's not accurate. And what I did find out on a couple of landings, in the couple of situations where my parachute just turned up because I was going on the time acceleration ×4, and I do keep forgetting that this altimeter is not showing me the well, the proper altitude. If you do want to see your altitude, you have to log in here, and that's your altimeter. So the parachutes are opening at the 500 meters, and they just opened, and we are on the 1100 meters. That's above the sea level. So I did screw up it a couple of times with well, an improper landing, and I was, well, pretty much dead. With all the precious science I did gather was just destroyed. So let's speed this thing up though. As well, we do have our shadow, and we are moving pretty slow. So there will be a sample from the highlands, or from the grasslands, from the looks of it. But it's a pretty nice scenery to land on, Mr. Jebediah. We did bring 6 crew reports from that one, and we still have 1 mystery goo to observe in here. So let's land. A very good landing. So let's observe the mystery goo, because, well, another thing, because we have no ladders, we have no means to get back onto the ship, we cannot observe the goo once we get out from here. And you observe the goo in the Kerbal Highlands, that's scientific value of 3. Well, let's skip this data. Do we have the crew report? Oh, yeah, we have. So let's EVA. Let's look at go, Mr. Jebediah. And let's take the EVA report from here. Well, it wasn't entirely necessary to get it. Well, the spacesuit is kinda handy, you know. Let's take the surface sample, value of 9. This is a dirt and grass. Well, what can you expect? So let's recover our brave Jebediah as well. That's 11.4 science from him. And, well, let's see how much science we earn with the Orbiter Mark I. Let's recover him. We did earn 86 science. Well, that ain't too bad. We have the crew report in space high over Kerbal. We have the EVA reports from the various biodomes there are on the Kerbal. So we have water, grasslands, highlands, Kerbal mountains. Well, EVA report from space high over Kerbal. Kerbal desert. Mystery goo from while in space near. Observation from Kerbal highlands and in the high space. And, well, vessel returned from the Kerbal orbit, that's worth another 10. So we earn 86 from this one. So where this one puts us? Because, well, remember the next mission I would like to do is a trip to Minimus. So we are sitting on 109 science, and, well, I am very tempted. Well, let's see where we can get with that. Well, 18 science for the stability control and the radial decoupler. Well, it is useful. General rocketry, so we'll have the vectoring engine, the LVT-45, and some solid fuel booster. Well, this will be very handy. So we finish it up with just 2 missions. We finish it up to tier 2, and we have some more science to go to the tier 3 right now. So what do we have on the tier 3? That's 45 cents. So we will be able to unlock one thing and one thing only. And well, what shall we do? What shall we do? Well, the thing is, if we want to go to Minimus, I do think that the best thing to do is to get the science here. More science, it means more points for the later upgrades. And I do believe I can get this ship with those upgrades right now up to Minimus, even with the my skill level. So I will invest the science into, well, the science. Investing science into the science, well, that should be interesting. So after researching that one, we do have the electrics, which will give us the first solar panel and some lights. Well, that could be handy. We will move to our first ladder. We will have access to the ladder at some point, and the thermometer. Well, I do think that one thing that is not for working for me in this tree is actually the ladder. It should be somewhere here. And well, and also some landing strut and the small gear bay. So well, that's 26 science for us. We slowly progress to the tier 3 of parts, and well, the next episode and the next Kerbal space program would be from, well, will be a trip to Minimus. And well, I will need to practice and well polish my skills to well do it properly. But well, guys, remember, we will be finishing up the video, so remember about liking and subscribing to my channel. Well, like the video if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you do want to see more Kerbal space program, more War Thunder videos, and more well other games that I will be playing. And well, let's finish it up for today. So guys, thanks you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I do really hope to see you all next time. But until then, Iron Rifle out.